Hey guys, Trevor Boone here. So we're setting up ECG South. We've been trying to figure out how to cater to our Los Angeles and overall California clients for a long time. So this serendipitous situation came about where we decided to team up with Craft and Tailored, who's a company I respect on so many levels. They specialize in vintage watches, but they do analog photography and old cameras and old cars, amazing content, and they respect every level of that, whether it's intro or an established collection. So we put together this shop in shop concept where we're gonna be down there once a month for a few days, booking out appointments. At the very foundation, it's just a safe place to come and hang out, experience this stuff. So shoot us an email at ecgsouth@emeraldcityguitars.com and we'll get you a spot to come and hang and check out everything that we're bringing down. It'll be a rotating inventory. We bring down special things for the weekends that we're there, and it's gonna be awesome. So let's get on the road and get this thing going. All right, Monday morning, GuitaRV is loaded up. It's day one, trip number 3. We're in Olympia, Washington. That's our first stop. We're gonna go check out a 44 Martin D28. We were blessed with awesome weather. It was pouring down rain all weekend in Seattle, but it's gorgeous, blue skies today. So let's go check out this Martin, get this trip going.
I'm a master French bow maker. Floor to ceiling violins everywhere. And basses, I got a room full of basses. But yeah, this is her.
So 1944.
1944, scallop bracing.
So warm sounding, huh?
A couple years ago, coming back up to Seattle, pulled off on a random exit because I spotted a taco truck afar, and we saw these handmade barn sale signs. Followed these for a few miles and ended up in this amazing place where this old gal, Arlene, who was cool as hell, Canadian tuxedo, head to toe, walking around with a beer, had the coolest antique barn sale, kind of thrift vintage shop going out of her house. So I've been trying to meet up with her the last few trips, but she's either out of town or doing something. So we called her in advance, so she's gonna open it up for us early this morning. So we're just gonna go check it out, see if we can find anything to throw some goodies in the new showroom. If nothing else, it's a fun place to stop by and it'll be good to see her again, so.
That one
Not
looks
good.
good on you, but it's not
Wrong
big
size,
enough.
man.
Oh, these are cool, man.
That thing must weigh. I don't know how they carried them around.
Damn.
I don't know how they could carry their head like that.
Royal 7-point.
7 on each side.
Snow up there in those hills?
We'd made this drive in the RV a number of times before, but the change from summer to fall did take a toll on our speed this time. From rain and wind to fog and snow in the upper mountains, and a loose windshield wiper we discovered at an inopportune time, we finally made our way through an uncharacteristically dreary Central California and into LA, which we would call home for the rest of the week, at the good old Hollywood RV Park.
All right, so it's Thursday morning. Last few days we've just been driving. We landed in LA last night, and today is kind of when things start cracking. So We are packed the next 2 days with a couple appointments and just getting ready to put the showroom together. First and foremost, this morning we're gonna go head over to Nerdville, Joe Bonamassa's house, and drop off some really cool stuff he bought for me recently. I don't know if you guys saw the last video of the cool 65 custom color. So Joe got that whole package, which is awesome. He's the most appropriate caretaker for that. He's gonna play him, which is great. Instead of shipping those big cabs with the custom grill cloth and whatnot, my buddy Steve offered just to drive it out here. So we're gonna stop by Joe's, see what's up to Rick Gold. Joe's out of town until December, but got some coffee in us, and we're gonna head to Nerdville. Yeah, Nerdville, baby. We got Gavin and Steven in the same state. Oh, look at these cars.
A lot of stuff ends up here. This is like the black hole of
The cabinets in the Nerdville kitchen are made from Carina, of course. And if you notice the handles, they're like wraparound bridges. Well, he said he ordered 100 of those, have them specially made.
Now these are not that rusty, but we've gotten some where it's like so rusty you can just see like the
Especially
residue.
these, the flat ones probably on a break.
Yeah.
I tuned it up in the hotel room, and did you notice too that some of the inlays are a little funky coming up?
Yep.
We were gonna do that, but you said Joe didn't want anything like that.
No, he doesn't want it touched, you know. You guys want to see the rest?
Oh,
Yeah.
That really scares the shit out of me.
Oh my God. Smells like old case. It smells like it should.
Old guitar case.
First person I've ever seen in person, and I'm getting to play it here in Nerdville's a treat. It's like I said, it like projects and resonates like a hollow body.
All right, we are downtown LA on Spring Street. We are about to load up the first batch of vintage guitars for the showroom. The boys from Craft and Tailored are hurrying down here to give us a hand, but yeah, we got a ton of guitars, a ton of really good guitars. So we're excited about this. It's gonna be cool seeing it on the wall, and let's get to work, man. What's up, dude? Strong booms.
It smells good.
Whole crew's out here. Full gang is here. Burst in hand. It's exciting. Mint condition, 56 Strat.
My name is Cameron Barr, and I am the president and CEO of Craft and Tailored here in Los Angeles, California. Before we started Craft and Tailored, I was a watch collector. You know, like most guys getting into this, I just kind of started researching, you know, the watches that I was out there looking for myself, and amassed this big collection of vintage watches, and then realized that I only have one wrist. I started selling watches to my friends and things like that, and passion literally turned into my full-time profession. The first guitar that I ever had, it was a Silvertone, and I think the guitar came with a case that actually had an amp built into the case. And I just thought it was so cool. And then it led into, you know, vintage Firebird, then I had a Flying V, and then, you know, Les Pauls and Strats and all that kind of stuff. My father actually got me into guitars and into music. He had this very timeless kind of like dude style and taste and sensibility. Rock and roll, jazz, a drop top SL or a big old Cadillac, Levi's 501, cowboy boots, it was bespoke suits, and my dad never used like a Bic lighter. He always had like a Zippo or a Dunhill in his pocket, right? So even like that simple experience of like lighting up a cigarette had this kind of attention to detail. We have this funny saying at Craft & Tailored that it's more than just watches. There's something more to it than just the brand or the label. For example, I'm wearing my personal 1985 Omega Speedmaster Professional, and every morning I wind this watch, and it's that experience, putting this watch on my wrist, winding it, you know, putting energy into it, that kind of changes my entire day, that one moment.
My name is David Von Bader. I am the senior editor and a creative lead at Craft & Tailored. I started off covering rock and live coverage and doing artist interviews for Voice Media and their Village Voice publications in South Florida. I was a staff writer for Consequence of Sound for several years, doing album reviews and stuff. I've been a consistent contributor for Premier Guitar for going on almost 10 years now. I've done some stuff in the watch space as well. That was more kind of for fun, but it's always music oriented. Like I've done interviews with Geddy Lee about his watch collection, and Isan from the black metal band Emperor's got a really cool piece that was designed specifically for him to play guitar. So kind of all over the place, but mostly guitar journalism for the last like 10 years. I use the term co-optable passions a lot. If you're into one thing and you understand the format of how things become what they are culturally, then it's pretty easy to adapt that to other stuff. So for me, it's, you know, the car world, watches obviously, guitars are a huge one where they have tons of history, tons of cultural impact, and, you know, just depth to them, and it's endless. I think we all secretly love vintage guitars even if we don't know it, because all of our favorite modern guitars are basically vintage guitars. It's one of these things that's been ultimately perfected 50 years ago, 60 years ago at this point, geez. My dad's a guitar player, so I grew up in a house full of guitars, and the one that was always like in the closet, you don't touch it unless you bring home an A, or, you know, you had a really bad day and we want to make it nice for you, was his first electric guitar. A 68 Fender Telecaster with a maple cap neck that was hacked up by every luthier on 48th Street over the years, P90 in the bridge so it could sound like Leslie West from Mountain, and a humbucker in the neck to get a little bit more of that Keith thing. And that guitar lived in the closet. Its name is Miss Stinky. That's the name of that guitar. So to me, that was always where it became vintage. You know, there's something special about that guitar. It was kind of like ingrained in me as a kid, even if I didn't know why. And then you get older and you start playing them and you realize there's a difference, and there really is some magic in old dried up wood that's lived a life. And anything old that's got the potential of having lived a life before me is really alluring. I think that's the point of connection for a lot of watch people. And what I love about vintage guitars especially is it's a connection to your heroes a lot of the time. It's a lot of us get these guitars because that guy played that, you know, that was on that record. It's this connection to history.
Craft & Tailored over the past 6 years has experienced some pretty awesome growth. It started with just me, and then I brought my cousin in, full-time videographers, full-time editor, senior editor with David. We've got writers on staff, alongside of bringing in and chasing watches. So David joined our team and said, you gotta meet these guys at Emerald City. You guys had flown out to pick up a collection in Palm Springs. So I call up David and I'm like, David, let's take a 911 out and let's rip out to this party. And it was just like this instant like vibe. It just so happened that we also had this big open wall in our office. And I was like, why don't we just do kind of a shop in shop? We've got this extra space. It fits our vibe, it fits our character. All of, you know, the ECG fans now have a place in LA to come try gear, hang out, sit in a cool place, and I'm really excited to have this collaboration together.
You told me that you've been doing a lot of business in LA. Kind of what you guys do is a lot of house calls, and you bring really remarkable guitars to really remarkable people, and love to tell those stories. And that's what we like to do with watches. We have the benefit of having a captive audience that isn't necessarily a guitar audience yet. So we can talk history and it's not redundant. You know, I feel like most people go to vintage guitar or something like that. They know the custom colors that Fender made were DuPont colors. They know the story of the PAF pickup. They know this, hopefully, most of them, you know, I'd assume. So for us, we get to retell those stories with our style, and it's one of those things, if you can appreciate this, you can very easily appreciate that. You guys walk the same path we walk, parallel. with vintage guitars. And you have the same approach to the way you work with people, the way you seek guitars. You know, we're social, we're a social company. So just to have people here and have your people here is exciting for me. We knew you guys would curate a really beautiful collection for the room. It's perfect for us to have that there. I'm gonna get to meet a lot of really cool guitars. I'm gonna get to write about them. If we sell guitars, great. You know, if we sell watches, awesome. But the thing that, as a human, I'm excited about is the storytelling and the connecting. And it's my job, and I'm the luckiest son of a bitch in the world to get to do this, you know?
So the generator just cut out.
No way.
After a morning of electrical issues that wouldn't allow us to retract the leveling jacks under the RV, locking us into the park, Trevor found a bit of info that led to me being able to bypass the auto level feature and manually retract the jacks. It was finally time to head home, but on the way out we had to pick up a passenger for the trip up north. A friend that you may recognize from our last RV trip, Chef Luke Thomas. He'd never been on what he described as a classic American road trip, and our mechanical issues with the RV were a perfect way to start such an adventure. We were already running late and had to make it to our destination before the hosts left for the evening, but we had a few hundred miles to go before we arrived, and we still had to figure out what we were going to have for dinner that night.
All right, so we're running super late and we had some RV issues early in the morning. We've got literally 5 minutes to put dinner together. I'm wasting time talking, but Luke's got 5 minutes to pick out dinner and we're gonna do the 2-burner challenge. Let's roll.
Chef, what's on your mind right now?
Well, I'm trying to please him. He's a hard critic, so.
I'm hungry, man. This is fucking wild, man. What's going on? Okay, so I have a world-class chef that's like, I mean, this is embarrassing, but it's awesome. This is why I love him. So he just flew from New York to LA to Miami. Now he's somewhere in the outskirts of Sacramento in an RV that's having electrical difficulties. The extension won't go out, so he's literally in like 11 inches of room to prepare some steaks and he's such a good sport. This is fucking crazy. And every time we do these trips, it's just like something goes wrong. That's just part of the road. It's the story after. It's a lot of fun. He adapts well. We feel bad, but
make it work.
Luke's the man. So he's gonna put together a crazy little meal, and I mean, it looks like a meth lab in here. But you know, it's not his first rodeo. So we're gonna eat good. I have faith in it. So thank you, Luke.
No, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna do some steaks, but I want to make like a little salsa to go with the steaks. So I'm just gonna like blacken up some of these vegetables and then chop them all up, loads of herbs, nice chili, lots of citrus. Yeah, just get some flavor going. So these, but I'm just gonna wait for the onions to cook and then finish all the salsa, and then the next step will be grilling these.
No, he's like producing a record out there. He's a magician. It's crazy.
One more night and several hundred miles to go before we were home. but it was a fairly smooth ride the rest of the way. There was some fog, heavy rain, and that same windshield wiper came loose again. But we managed to get the kitchen pull-out extended that night, and after a good night's sleep next to a slow-rolling river, we made the final sprint home. We were able to knock something off of Luke's bucket list, had a very successful start to a new chapter for Emerald City Guitars, and had another fun adventure in GuitaRV.